Hello, beautiful. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how a single sentence, whispered at just the right moment, can make a man melt? Not because it's explicit, not because it's loud, but because it goes straight to his core, to the part of him that wants to feel chosen, desired, and deeply connected to you. Tonight, I want to show you something most women are never told. Because during intimacy, what you say can matter just as much as what you do. And when you speak to a man in the right way, you don't just turn him on, you touch his confidence. You anchor his desire. You stay in his mind long after the moment ends. So let's talk about the 5 things men secretly crave to hear during sex and why these words change everything. When you say, I want you, and you say it slowly, softly, from a place of certainty, something tender and powerful opens inside a man. Those words don't rush him, they pull him closer. They don't demand anything, they invite him to stay. In that moment, he doesn't just feel desired, he feels chosen. And that distinction matters more than you might imagine. So many men spend their lives feeling like love is conditional, like they have to earn affection through effort, strength, success, or performance. Even in intimacy, that pressure can quietly follow them. But when you look at him and say, I want you, you take all of that weight away. You're telling him that right now, exactly as he is, he's enough. That there's nowhere else you'd rather be. That your desire isn't hesitant or accidental, it's intentional. What makes these words so romantic is the emotional safety they create. You're not teasing him, you're not testing him. You're grounding him in the present moment. Your voice becomes an anchor, reminding him that this connection is real, mutual, and shared. And when a man feels emotionally safe, he opens, he softens, he becomes more attentive, more affectionate, more connected to you. There's also a quiet vulnerability in saying, I want you. It's not flashy or dramatic. It's honest. It says, I'm here with you and I'm not holding back. Men feel that honesty deeply. They sense when desire is genuine rather than performative. And genuine desire has a way of touching a man's heart in a way nothing else can. The romance lives in the simplicity. You're not describing him. You're not praising him. You're claiming the moment. You're letting him know that your desire isn't about what he's doing, it's about who he is with you. His presence, his energy, the way he makes you feel simply by being close. And long after the moment ends, that feeling stays with him. He remembers the warmth in your voice, the certainty in your words, the way you made him feel wanted without asking for anything in return. That's what draws him back to you emotionally. That's what makes intimacy feel meaningful instead of fleeting. I want you may be only 3 words, but when spoken with sincerity and softness, they become a promise of connection. A reminder that desire can be both passionate and deeply romantic. And once a man feels that kind of wanting from you, it's something he won't easily forget. When you say, I feel so close to you, you're doing something incredibly intimate, far more intimate than touch alone. In that moment, you're inviting a man into emotional closeness, not just physical proximity. Those words tell him that this isn't just bodies meeting, it's hearts aligning. And for a man, that realization can be profoundly moving. Many men rarely hear language that names emotional connection so gently and so clearly. They may feel it, but they're not always given permission to sink into it. When you whisper, I feel so close to you, you give him that permission. You let him know that the closeness between you isn't imagined or one-sided, it's shared, that he's not alone in what he's feeling, that you're right there with him, emotionally present and open. There's something deeply romantic about acknowledging closeness in the moment it's happening. You're not talking about the past or the future, you're anchoring both of you in now. Your words slow everything down. They tell him that this moment matters, that it's not being rushed or taken lightly. And when a man feels that a moment matters to you, he naturally wants to protect it, savor it, and stay in it with you. These words also soften him. They touch the part of him that longs to be understood without having to explain himself. You're not asking him to perform or lead or impress. You're simply sharing how connected you feel. That emotional transparency creates a quiet intimacy that feels safe and warm, like being held without needing to brace yourself. Romantically, I feel so close to you tells him that intimacy with you isn't empty or transactional, it's meaningful. It reassures him that what's happening between you is more than chemistry. It's connection. And that distinction is powerful because it allows him to open his heart a little more even if he doesn't fully realize he's doing it. What lingers afterward isn't just the memory of touch, but the memory of being emotionally included. He remembers feeling close to you in a way that felt calm, grounding, and real. That's what makes him think of you later, miss you when you're not there, and crave that sense of closeness again. When spoken softly and sincerely, "I feel so close to you," becomes a bridge between desire and affection. It wraps romance around the moment and turns intimacy into something deeper, something shared. And once a man experiences that kind of closeness with you, it becomes something he longs to return to, because with you, closeness feels like home. When you say, "You make me feel amazing," you're offering him one of the most romantic gifts a man can receive, emotional reassurance wrapped in desire. Those words don't just land on his ears, they sink into his chest. Because beneath confidence, beneath strength, beneath everything he shows the world, there's a part of him that quietly wonders if he's truly enough. And in that moment, your words answer that question for him. What makes this sentence so powerful is that it removes pressure. Instead of adding it, you're not evaluating him. You're not judging what he's doing. You're simply sharing how he makes you feel. That subtle shift changes everything. It tells him that he doesn't need to try harder or be someone else. That his presence, his touch, his energy is already creating something beautiful inside you. Romantically, these words soften a man. They allow him to relax into the connection, instead of feeling like he has to lead every moment. When a man feels he's making you feel amazing, he feels successful in the deepest sense, not because of performance, but because of impact. He feels like he's pleasing you emotionally as well as physically, and that combination is intoxicating. There's also vulnerability in saying this. You're letting him know that you're affected by him, that he has the power to make you feel good, cherished, alive. Men feel that vulnerability deeply, even if they don't articulate it. It creates trust. It creates warmth. It creates a bond that goes beyond attraction. The romance lives in the sincerity. When you say it softly, with warmth in your voice, it feels real, not rehearsed, not dramatic, just honest. That honesty tells him this moment is mutual, that he's not alone in his desire, and that the connection between you is flowing both ways. And here's the magic part. When a man hears that he makes you feel amazing, his instinct is to give more present, more affection, more care, not because he's obligated, but because he wants to. Feeling appreciated awakens generosity in a man's heart. Long after the moment passes, he remembers that feeling, not just what happened, but how he made you feel and how you let him know. That memory stays with him. It draws him back to you emotionally, not just physically. "You make me feel amazing" isn't loud or explicit, but it's deeply romantic. It tells a man he's valued, desired, and appreciated in a way that feels warm, safe, and unforgettable. When you say, "I love the way you make me feel," something almost magical happens in a man's heart. These words are gentle, intimate, and profoundly romantic, because they shift the focus from what he's doing to who he is with you. You're not simply commenting on his actions or his physicality, you're celebrating the effect he has on your emotions, on your sense of being alive, seen, and cherished, and that is incredibly seductive. Men rarely hear this kind of emotional affirmation. Often society tells them to be strong, stoic, and in control. They are rarely reminded that their presence, their touch, or simply who they are can create a deep emotional impact. When you speak these words sincerely, you are telling him that he matters to you in a way that transcends physical intimacy. You are revealing that the way he makes you feel alive, desired, safe, connected is something you notice, appreciate, and love. That acknowledgement resonates far more powerfully than praise about performance or appearance, because it touches the emotional core of a man's desire to be seen and to be valued. Romantically, these words create a sense of shared intimacy. They invite him to feel proud, not because he accomplished something, but because he exists in a way that moves you. It reassures him that what he is giving, his energy, his presence, his vulnerability, is being received, welcomed, and cherished. There is a softness in these words that allows him to fully relax, to let go of expectation, and to immerse himself in the connection you are building together. That emotional safety amplifies desire and deepens attachment, making the moment feel far richer and more memorable. The beauty of saying, "I love the way you make me feel," is that it combines passion with gratitude. It's sensual without being overt, intimate without being performative. It transforms physical connection into something unforgettable because it is deeply personal and uniquely shared. When spoken with sincerity and warmth, these words linger long after the moment has passed. They leave an imprint on his heart, a memory of being profoundly desired, emotionally impactful, and truly appreciated. In essence, this sentence is a love note delivered in real time. It tells a man that he matters, that he's seen, and that the way he moves through your world with you is something you treasure. That is the kind of romantic intimacy that keeps him coming back, not just for the touch, but for the feeling of being deeply understood, cherished, and loved by you. When you whisper, "Stay with me in this moment," you're doing something incredibly rare, profoundly romantic, and deeply intimate. These words carry more weight than any physical gesture because they are an invitation to presence, to shared awareness, and to a connection that goes beyond the body. In a world that moves at lightning speed, where distractions constantly pull people away, asking a man to stay with you in the present moment is like saying, right now it's only us, and this time belongs to us alone. That is incredibly seductive and emotionally magnetic. Men experience intimacy differently than women in many ways. While physical connection is important, what truly leaves a lasting impact is emotional resonance. The feeling that what's happening isn't fleeting or trivial, but real, meaningful, and shared. When you say, "Stay with me in this moment," you are signaling to him that the connection you're building is more than just physical gratification. You are telling him that the emotional intimacy, the shared vulnerability, and the energy between you matter more than anything else in the room, more than any outside distraction, and certainly more than any performative act. It's a reminder that what he feels and what you feel are equally valid, equally present, and equally cherished. There's also something incredibly grounding in these words. Men, even when fully engaged, often carry the weight of expectation, societal pressures to be strong, confident, and always in control. In intimate moments that can create subtle tension, an unspoken pressure to perform or to get it right. By inviting him to stay with you, you are giving him permission to simply be. You are letting him know that he doesn't have to impress, calculate, or rush. He can simply exist with you in the present moment, and that existence alone is enough. That validation, that emotional permission is deeply comforting and quietly intoxicating. Romantically, this phrase transforms intimacy from an act into an experience. It changes the dynamic from a series of movements into a shared memory, a pause in time where both of you exist purely for each other. It tells him that the moments you share aren't disposable or routine. They are precious, fleeting, and worth savoring. In saying this, you are teaching him that the connection between you is alive, delicate, and beautiful, and that deserves attention and care. There is a sensuality in this kind of mindful intimacy that is far more captivating than words of praise or overt expressions of desire. It is subtle, sophisticated, and emotionally charged, and it makes him want to return to you again and again, craving not just your body, but the profound connection he feels in your presence. Moreover, these words create a lingering emotional imprint. Long after the physical intimacy has passed, what he remembers is not just the sensations, but the feeling of being fully present with you. He remembers the way your voice softened, the warmth in your gaze, the trust and vulnerability implied in your words. That memory stays with him, becomes part of how he thinks of you, and strengthens the emotional bond that keeps him attached to you beyond the immediate moment. Saying, "Stay with me in this moment," is more than a sentence. It's a bridge between passion and presence, a call to intimacy that transcends the physical. It is romantic, grounding, and unforgettable, creating a memory that lives in both your hearts long after the lights go out. It reminds him that with you, intimacy is not just an act, but an experience shared, cherished, and timeless. Here's the truth, beautiful. Men don't just crave physical connection. They crave feeling desired, appreciated, and emotionally seen, especially in moments of intimacy. And when you know how to speak to a man's heart while you're close to his body, you become unforgettable. If this resonated with you, stay right here, because the next thing I'm going to share might completely change the way men bond with you on a deeper level.